What's up, investors? Today we're going to look at what the top hedge fund managers were buying during the first quarter of 2020. Now, I got a lot of this information for this video from a Seeking Alpha article, and I'll post a link to that in the description below. Now, some of the reasons why you might want to mimic and kind of copy what a hedge fund manager guy is doing is, look, these guys get paid big bucks to have above average returns. And so while a lot of hedge funds don't necessarily beat the S&P 500 benchmark, these top guys do, and they do it on a regular basis. So what we're going to look at is what are these guys buying and what are the top holdings that they have within their funds. Now, by law, these guys are required to report these things every 3 months to investors so people like you can check it out. The first thing we're going to analyze here are the top holdings of the best hedge funds in the world. Now, by looking at what stocks regularly rise to the top, it can give you an idea of what these professional money managers feel will outperform the rest of the year. Now, let's take a look at the list, and it actually should come as no surprise, and certainly to me. I just did a video last week of 5 stocks that I'm looking to buy, and my number 1 stock was Amazon. And the top hedge fund managers in the world actually agree with me, or maybe I agree with them. Amazon was a top 5 holding in a whopping 55% of the top 20 hedge funds. And while many amateur investors always come up with excuses why they shouldn't own Amazon or why they shouldn't buy Amazon, I hear them all the time. Oh, they've never made money. The PE ratio is too high. AWS is the only business that makes money. Blah, 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 blah. The bottom line is Amazon is involved in some of the fastest growing business models in the world, including e-commerce, cloud computing, streaming video, video games, online advertising, and more. They are absolutely crushing it in a lot of those markets, and they're fast growing as well. Other stocks that regularly appear in the top hedge fund list are Facebook, Microsoft, Alibaba, Netflix, Google, Visa, and MasterCard. All of these stocks have something kind of in common. They're all in that kind of tech realm, but some are more involved in advertising, some are involved in e-commerce, and some, like Visa and MasterCard, are kind of the facilitator of payments for all these places. But the number one thing they all have in common is I bet each and every one of you watching right now has heard of those companies. So these guys aren't going out and trying to find obscure names that you've never heard of. They are investing in the top blue chip companies in the world. That should give you an idea of what kind of stocks you should be buying too. Now let's take a look at the top stocks that these hedge fund managers were buying during the quarter. What I just showed you were stocks that were already in these hedge fund managers' portfolio. So it could be a position that they've held for a while. Now I'm going to look at what the hedge fund managers were actually buying during the first 3 months of 2020. And it is actually very remarkable. So we saw that Amazon was a top holding in 11 out of 20 of the top hedge funds in the world. Even more remarkable was that is it was a top 5 buy in 8 of the top 20 holdings in the world. So that's really remarkable that Amazon not only was a top holding, but it was also a top buy for the top hedge funds in the world. That's really impressive, and it really should let you know that maybe you should go and take a look at Amazon stock. Now, there's a lot of familiar names on this buy list as well, but some of the names I'm definitely going to go and do more research on, including Datadog, Sea Limited, Teladoc, ServiceNow, RingCentral. We see here the top 5 holdings list for a lot of these hedge funds were names we all recognize. Whereas if we get into some of the names that they purchase, some of these names are not necessarily household names in terms of blue chip stocks. But what also is interesting, and I think this should be a big takeaway for you as an investor, maybe you're a beginning investor, maybe you've been investing for a little while, maybe you've been investing for a really long time. All these stocks, what they have in common is they are overvalued by a price to earnings valuation. And so what that should tell you is, and what you can learn from this channel, is that if all you had to do was look at earnings ratios and price to sales and price to book, basically stuff they teach you in Finance 101, if that's all it took to be a successful investor, every single one of you watching right now would be absolutely filthy rich. The bottom line is that's not what it takes to be a successful investor. Everyone would be rich and wealthy if all it took was looking at ratios and things we learned in Finance 101. The fact is, investing is way more than just looking at these ratios. In my opinion, investing is more about opportunity and leadership. All of these companies have tremendous opportunity to make lots of money in the areas that they compete in. But on top of that, they have tremendous leadership that's going to allow them to execute on that plan and capture a lot of that business and profits. And finally, all these companies have what I call the ability to win a gold medal in the business that they compete in. What do I mean by winning a gold medal? Well, look, business is a lot like the Olympics. Okay, there's a lot of athletes that qualify and compete in the Olympic Games, but only a select handful of those athletes actually have an opportunity to win a medal, and even fewer have the opportunity to win a gold medal. Many athletes, along with many companies out there, are destined to win a silver medal or a bronze medal at best. The same thing is true in business. Identifying which companies can win a gold medal, regardless of what the PE ratio is or some stupid metric that they taught you in a textbook when you were in college, is much better way to determine if a company will succeed or not. I think if you took a look at the list of stocks here, they all have the potential to win a gold medal in whatever industry that they compete in. So what can you take from this video other than Amazon is by far and away the top pick of many of the top fund managers in the world? Well, I think it's start analyzing stocks outside of kind of what I call maybe the first grade level, okay? So instead of just looking at PE ratios, looking at what other people are saying, start analyzing stocks from a deeper level and start predicting and maybe start forecasting what stocks are gonna absolutely dominate, because those are the stocks that are gonna benefit you, the common shareholder. The stocks that are gonna not only do great, but do great things around the world. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment below if you agree, or maybe even you disagree with anything that I might say here. Hit that thumbs up button if you like what we're doing here, and consider subscribing as well. I'll be back with another video soon. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your investments.